Alright man, so what is up guys, Airball here and I'm back with another video. And these are going to be three of some of the builds that I think are going to be very good in NBA 2K26. Now you might be asking me, why do you think these builds are going to be so good? The game hasn't even come out yet. We don't even know what the build system is going to be like. We don't know what the gameplay is going to be like. But as you guys can see here by this screenshot, this is a template build from NBA 2K26. And you guys see in 2K25, you can basically make the exact same thing. The only difference is that the speed is 2 less than in 2K26 and 2K25. And then again, look at this Kyrie build. It's, these attributes can be put in 2K25, except the agility can't go to an 84. But what this is telling us is that the builder is going to be very similar to NBA 2K25, which means that we can start labbing up the builds, right now basically. So what I'm going to do in this video is show you guys three builds that I think are going to be very good. The badges and all that are still going to be the same. The requirements are still the same. If you look at this here, you still have the same attributes that you would put on a build, like 74 perimeter gets you that bronze on-ball menace, 60 steal, interceptor, 96 gets you 50 shooters. So that leads me to believe that the badge requirements are also going to be the same. And the attributes are also very similar as well. So that makes me think that the builder in 2K26 is going to be basically the same as NBA 2K25 with a few minor tweaks. But without further ado, let's just get straight into the video. So the first build I will be showing you guys today is a 6'4" ISO build. Alright, so we want to go, right hand, jersey number obviously doesn't really matter. We're going to go point guard for the position, 6'4", like I said. The weight is going to be 202, and the wingspan is going to be 6'11". That way we can get an 89 3-pointer, so we can get that gold set shot specialist. Now, starting off with the finishing attributes, we're going to have a 78 on the close shot. We're going to have an 80 on the driving layup and have a 93 on the driving dunk. Now, what this is going to give us is gold posterizer off rip, all right? So yeah, 93 is what I'm going to go with here. Standing dunk should be 39. Post control should be 44. Nothing too crazy there. But moving on to the shooting, we're going to have an 89 3-ball with this build, and that will give us gold set shot specialist, which is honestly pretty good. And if you wanted to, you can max +2 to legend. If you wanted to, you can max +1. You can really do whatever you want. You can even just keep that gold. It really depends on how easy the shooting is. Who knows? Maybe you could shoot really consistently with a 73 ball, and maybe you might not even need an 89. But for now, we're gonna go with 89. And then once the game comes out, we'll see how everything is. But I'm predicting that shooting is gonna be pretty easy this year, so you won't really need to have that legend set shot. But you can still do it if you want to. Pass accuracy is going to be 71, just so we get the diamond on silver. Ball handling is going to be a 90, all right, to get gold handling for days. And then speed with ball is going to be an 86, all right. So, I mean, yeah, you can honestly, get more badges with the cat breakers. If you do +5 cat breakers, you could do, you can get Hall of Fame handles for days, Hall of Fame ankle assassin. You can get gold unpluckable. Lightning launch, you get that on gold. You can also max +2 that if you wanted to, which I think will be pretty broken. But yeah, moving on to the defense, we're gonna have a 64 on the interior. We're gonna have a 92 on the perimeter, just so we can get that challenger on gold. 85 steal to get the interceptor on gold, and glove on silver. The block is going to be a 68. O board is going to be a 28, and the D board is going to be a 52. All right. The speed is going to be 85. We're going to have 84 agility, 73 strength to get that gold strong handle, and then the vertical will be an 80. All right. And then we do have a few attributes remaining here, I guess. So actually, what I did on my on the build is I put 82 vertical. And basically, the reason why I did that is so you can use cat breakers to get 96 driving dunk and 85 vertical, and what that gets you is a it gets you Hall of Fame posterizer, and posterizer is honestly pretty good. You can max +1 that to legend if you wanted to, but it just gives you an option with the cat breakers on like what you really want to do with the build. So on my original build, I went with 82 vertical, but you can really just change it up to whatever you want to. So the interior is actually supposed to be 54, not 64, but you guys see here 82 vertical. We put the O board up, and that should do it. So with 6 cap breakers, you can get legend, or not legend, Hall of Fame posterizer, and this build will come out to be, something. Honestly, the names this year were kind of trash. It's good that in 2K26, the names on builds will be a lot better, but this will come out to be a two-way inside-out ISO creator. So the next build that I have for you guys is a 6'9" ISO build. Alright, so we're going to go right hand, your number doesn't matter. We're going to pick small forward for the position, 6'9" for the height. Now, it wasn't confirmed that we're going to have 6'9" shooting guards or point guards, so I think we can only just get him as small forward, which is fine. The height, or not the height, the weight is going to be 185 pounds, and the wingspan is going to be 7'1", alright? So moving on to the attributes, we're going to have a 79 on the close shot. Alright, so that's going to tie into your driving dunk right here, which will be an 89. The driving layup will be an 80, so we get the physical finisher on silver. Alright, the standing dunk's 54, post control is a 50. Midi is going to be an 89, so that gets us gold set shot specialist. And, again, you can max +2 that to legend if you wanted to. But like I said before, I don't really know if you're going to need that because shooting should be pretty easy, but we're just going to have to wait and see. Free throw is going to be a 70. Playmaking, the passing isn't great. This is an ISO build, like I said. So, look, if you want to put the passing up, that's cool. Me personally, I wouldn't. I feel like having bronze dimer is just fine enough. And honestly, you don't even need dimers. So, 55, I'll honestly take it. Speedable ball is going to be a 75. Now, this is where it gets kind of glitchy here because this is a tier 2 badge. And you can max +2 it to Hall of Fame if you wanted to. So you could potentially be on a 6'9" build with Hall of Fame lightning launch. Another perk that we get here is that we get bronze handles for days. You can upgrade that to gold with the max +2. If you want to specialize in playmaking, I think for this build, that would probably be the best thing. So that way you can get your max +2, your permanent max +2 for your playmaking. That way you can put handles for days on there and lightning launch on there, so you can get Hall of Fame lightning launch and gold handles for days on a 6'9" build. I think that's pretty broken in my opinion. Interior is going to be a 64. Perimeter is going to be 87. And then you should probably use +5 cap breakers. That's how I designed this build, to use +5 cap breakers to get the perimeter up to a 92. And that way you can get all these gold badges here like Challenger, On Ball, and Pick Dodger. We went with 79 steel just to get the glove on silver. Alright, the block is going to be a 78. So 78 block will get us silver high flying denier. The rebounding, we're just going to have a 60 defensive rebound. That's going to do it. The speed, it will be maxed out at 86, which I think is going to be pretty nice. We're going to be 6'9" with an 86 speed. That is really, really good. And then the strength is going to be a 73. Alright, and then the vertical is going to be an 80. And then we do have a few more attributes remaining here. Just put on your offensive rebound, get up to 33, and that'll do it for the build. So, I mean, looking at it, it's honestly really, really good. If you get 4 cap breakers, I would probably upgrade the driving dunk to 93 because we already have the 80 vertical, and that way we can get posterizer on gold. And, I mean, again, if you wanted to, you can specialize in finishing. You can get your physical finisher up to Hall of Fame with your max +2. You can get your posterizer up to Hall of Fame, actually legend with cap breakers. So there are a lot of possibilities with this build. You can shoot the ball really well. You're going to have a really good set shot. You're going to have posterizer up there. You're going to have really good playmaking badges, and you'll be able to play really solid defense as well as being pretty fast and being able to jump high. So this build really has no flaws. I feel like the 6'9s are going to be back this year, especially because of the dribbling requirements. A lot of them are 6'10 and under, which means 6'9s might be back this year. But anyway, this build is called a two-way 3-level shot creator. So the third and final build that I have for you guys today is going to be a 7-foot stretch big. Alright, so right hand, your numbers doesn't matter. We want to go center for the position, 7 foot for the height, like I said. Footers, I think, if we have the same builder next year, the footers are still going to be overpowered. We're going to have 255 for the weight and 7'5 wingspan. So we'll be able to get 85 midi and 79 3-ball, and that way we can get silver Deadeye. But starting off with the finishing here, we're going to have an 80 on the close shot. Alright, so that's just going to be tied to the mid-range. The driving dunk is going to be a 65. Alright, 65 driving dunk. The standing dunk is going to be a little bit low. It's going to be a 76. But still, honestly, I think it's fine. You're a stretch. You don't really need that many contact dunks. But if you do, decide that you want to have the big man contact dunks, then go ahead and put it up to 81. But for my play style, for how I play, this is probably the build I'm going to make day one. I don't really need to have standing dunk on my build because I'm going to be sitting in the corner. Anyways, the midi is going to be 85. The three-pointer is going to be a 79. And that way we get silver Deadeye and silver set shot. Alright, so again, max plus 2, so you could do that. You can get the Hall of Fame set shot if you wanted to, or Hall of Fame Deadeye. It's really up to you. The pass accuracy is going to be an 87. Alright, so 87 pass sack will get us gold dimer as well as gold break starter. Alright, so gold dimer and gold break starter are going to be very, very solid for sure. And you'll definitely be able to throw the ball down the court a lot. At least if they fix the passing in 2K26. As you guys know, if you have a really high pass accuracy on this game, it still doesn't really matter. You know, full court passes are still just not very good. But anyways, the interior is going to be 82. Steel is going to be a 60. Alright, now this is where the build kind of gets broken. Alright, we're going to have a 93 on the block for gold paint patroller. We're going to have a 94 on the offensive rebound and a 94 on the defensive rebound. Now you guys see where I'm going here. If you get cap breakers, at least 10 of them, you can get 99 offensive rebound and 99 defensive rebound, which is, this year, it was really, really good, you know, having a really high offensive rebound. So I'm going to, you know, carry that on to next year as well. We're going to go ahead and max out the speed and agility. We're going to put the strength up to a 91. And then the vertical will be an 80, and that way we can get high flying denier on gold. And that's going to be the build. Now, in terms of cap breakers, obviously +5, and then +5 here. If you get 10 cap breakers at first, I would probably just put one of these up first and then put the strength. So that way with 96 strength, you can get box out beast on legend and still get your legend rebound chaser. And then if you get, you know, 15, then you could go crazy, get both 99 on the rebound and be an absolute menace. But for this build, what I think is pretty crazy is that you can specialize, the build specialization, you can specialize in defense. Now, what this is going to do is gives you the permanent max +2. You can get you can max +2 paint patroller to legend, and you can max +2 high flying denier to legend because they're tier 1 and tier 2. Alright, so you know, going along with legend rebound chaser and legend box out, you could potentially get legend paint patroller and legend high flying denier on this build, which would be absolutely insane. For regular max +2, I'd probably just do it on set shot or something like that. But I mean, yeah, this build is looking very nice, I'm not gonna lie. Now, obviously, we don't know what the gameplay is yet. We don't know how things might change. You know, maybe certain attributes will be more overpowered. Maybe standing dunks will be overpowered. Maybe you don't need that high of a rebound. I don't know. I don't really know what it's going to be. But I think this is a very, very good baseline for what builds are going to be like on day one. That's going to do it for the video. If you guys liked it, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. This is Airball. Peace.